My microphone would have if I had my microphone on, wouldn't it? So there's no dilly-dally and no shilly-shallying today. We're getting down to business from the moment we go live, and we went live a few seconds ago. So everyone, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us today. Microphone on. I think everything's on. No sound. There should be sound now. It was my fault. I started a bit too soon. Story of my life. How are you there, Louise? You got sound as well?
Yeah, I think so. Can you hear me?
Louise has got a bit of a sore throat today.
Just a bit.
Due to the fact that my throat's a little bit sore as well, actually.
That's hardly surprising.
Due to the fact that we have an old man with us, don't we? My father's staying with us for a few days. As you most probably saw on Facebook, we had that picture. My father was up learning new tricks at the bench. 99. So he's a little bit Mutt and Jeff, and it's hard work, isn't it?
He's hard. He's hard of hearing. You can tell he talks most at home, can't you? But he's So even though he does very well with his hearing, you still do have to raise your voice quite a lot.
You do.
Yeah.
And he always loses his hearing aid batteries, and it's always never on, and he never puts it in. Got your hearing aid, Vince? Yes. Where is it? In my pocket. What's the point of it being in your pocket when it should be in your ear? That's what I say.
He's a superstar, isn't he? I was going to put this stream onto the telly for him to watch before I came out, and he said, no, I don't think so. I'll have my audiobook. I see enough of you two.
Yes, it's he's not backwards and coming forwards, that man, is he?
No.
So, what's been happening this week? My gosh, has anything been happening? Oh, no. Okay. Nothing's happened really, is it? We've had reps. We've had reps round. My father's been round. It's just been busy in that sort of circle of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not much has happened. We haven't been out. That's the reason being, Louise. We have not been out.
Haven't been out.
We haven't been out to buy anything or anything like that. So, okay, Tanya, hello. Susan, hello. Trevor, Stacey, yeah. Susan, I can't even see the one. And Stephen.
Stacey, did you end up having to pay any duties or anything on the parcel? You shouldn't have done. I hope you didn't have to.
No, it should have been.
It was
a gift.
Kit, yeah.
The polishing was a gift. No question this week, but have been watching lots of videos on this week. Just wanted to say thank you. That's very kind. Thank you, Julia.
Fab.
Good. Yes, still going here after all these. This must be coming up now. March, I think we started. Coming up to nearly 2 years now. I think we've been doing this.
Yeah.
2 years. You see me grow.
Virtually
every week. I think we've only had like 3 weeks off. Even did it when we were in Falmouth. We did have 2 weeks off, I think, over Christmas, didn't we?
I think it was
a week. We had a week off over Christmas, didn't we? Yeah, absolutely. So nearly 2 years of doing this. Right.
Oh no, Penny's got COVID.
Oh no.
Oh no, are you okay?
Dear.
Oh.
Bless. We lucky so far, touch wood, we haven't. I'm saying that.
This is your 93rd Q&A. Oh my gosh.
Really?
Wow.
Who's sad enough to count?
Trevor,
you sad enough to count how many Q&A?
Very nice, Andrew Berry. Trevor, thank you. No, that's really good to know, because then we can do something special when it's the 100th Q&A. So thank you very much, Trevor, for letting us know.
But is that the 93rd Q&A? Are you taking into account the 12-hour marathons we've done?
Oh, Andrew, now I was being sad.
No, or are you taking into account the workshops, or is it actually been sort of like 2 years since we started doing them? We don't know.
Okay, well, we'll have to we'll look into that. Thank you, Trevor, for listening to Andrew.
Hello from the Windy City, Marianne. Hello. Get well soon, Penny.
Oh, get well soon, Penny. Yeah, get well soon.
Good. Super. Shall we start?
Yes, please.
My birthday is in wrong one. 14th of March. It is our 93rd Q&A. It's 4 p.m. Monday. Let us have our first questions, please, Louise.
Okay. The first question is Sandra, who's asking any tips from the studio audience for cleaning solder pallions. I pre-cut a bunch and forgot about them in a dish. They got dusty and tarnished a bit, and I think it's affecting solder flow.
I think the easiest thing I think you can do there is just put a little bit of borax, a little bit of flux on them when you start to melt them down, and I think you should be fine with them. I suppose you could put them all together in one of those little grip seal bags. One of these sort of little bags like this, and then put a little bit of acid in it perhaps, and then dunk it in your pickle to get them clean. But I think all you would need to do is just put a little bit of flux on them when you come to melt them down. Just had a biscuit before I came on. And I think you should be fine. What does everybody else say? What does everybody else think? In the meantime, let's have another question.
Okay. Neander is saying, could you recommend somewhere to recycle studio sweeps in London?
Okay, in London, don't necessarily take it to Cookson. Cookson are not necessarily going to give you a good price. There's a company, they must be in London as well, Pressman Master Melt. They are precious metal. What's the word I'm looking for? Reclamation specialist. That's the one. Start again. Pressman Master Melt. They are precious metal reclamation specialists. They are in London. They are in Birmingham. Take it to them. They will give you a very, very good price. Don't necessarily take it to Cookson. Everyone takes them to Cookson, but they don't give you a good price. Pressman Master Melt do give a good price. How are we doing there, Lou?
Yeah, just making a note of something I have to do.
Yep, that's okay. No worries. Okay, let's have another question there.
Gordo is saying, a cleaning question. If you could only have one, which would it be? An ultrasonic cleaner or a steam cleaner?
Ooh. Now, depending also now on your budget, because a steam cleaner is going to cost twice the price of an ultrasonic. Ultrasonics they're very good. I love an ultrasonic. You have fresh solution in it, you polish something, you put it in there, and the dirt just comes off just like that, okay? But it does the same thing with the steamer as well. That I was using one earlier on today. We did a nice little diamond ring. There was polish all over it. Steam cleaner blasts the polish away. Which would I go for? Budget wise, I would perhaps go for an ultrasonic over a steam cleaner. I think a steam cleaner is great if you're doing things like retipping, that you need to have the stones absolutely spotless before you put a flame onto it. Ultrasonic will go so far, but a steam cleaner will just clean them even further. So yes, ultrasonic, get yourself a good brand, something like Sonorex, or get yourself like a Durston or an Elmer. Make sure it's heated as well. Twin transducers in the bottom will give you a better wave pattern as well. Don't necessarily have to have one with a sweep or a degas. I don't find they are pretty much beneficial at all. Yes, Lou?
What about like versatility surrounding stones and things like that? Is one better than the other? Can you use one more on a wider variety of stones? I should know that myself, but I'm just thinking you do it all the time. So.
I think there are certain things you cannot put in an ultrasonic because of the ultrasonic waves. But then again, with the steamer, it's 100 degrees plus the steam coming out, whereas an ultrasonic is only around about 50 degrees.
But then you've got the ultrasonic
waves. So I think there's pros and cons, goods and bads on them all, I think, So, but then even if you have an ultrasonic, you can use the water, use the solution from it to clean around the stones, whereas you couldn't do that if you had a steamer. So you had like an emerald, for instance.
Well, you wouldn't do that, because a lot of the stones which are either like low on the Mohs scale or not very durable, you wouldn't be able to use it on either, would you? No,
but you can use the solution on a toothbrush, to go in around the stones, which is better than nothing.
Not emeralds though.
You can. but not dunk them in the ultrasonic.
Yeah.
Just use the solution. Yes, you should be able to do that. Yeah, or even neat solution.
Yeah, pearls are a problem for both. Yeah, and opal.
Yeah, I wouldn't even
opal.
touch an opal anywhere near. As Louise said, nothing that's going to be oiled or fracture filled or anything like that. So just take good care with that. Absolutely.
And that was something I wanted to mention. Actually, I was going to say, if you're in any doubt, Sally Spencer's excellent Jeweler's Guide to Working with Gemstones.
Exactly.
Quick reference guide, isn't it? Is the but I wanted to say, while I think about it, Gemology Rox's Diamonds for Designer course has come back, and I think. See, I meant to research this, but I saw it. I think it might be Birmingham.
Okay.
And the course, she's running the course again. And this was, do you remember a couple of weeks ago I said about my moissanite story? Sorry, I'm trying to keep you.
I was off camera, so you didn't have to raise that, did you?
My story about the moissanite, which I still brought in, and another jeweller had offered her. I thought it was a diamond, but I looked at it and I knew it was a moissanite because of because Kerry taught me how to do it. And sorry, I should have done this before. Where did I see it? Oh.
But anyway, Sally Spencer's book. I'm not going to. It's okay. I'm not going anywhere. Sally Spencer's book. We got 2 copies left. We have ordered more. So if you want to grab yourself Sally Spencer's book, just go along to atthebench.store. Sally Spencer's book. We've got 2 copies left. I know that could be sold the last but 3 earlier on today. Okay, so there we go. Atthebench.store. You can get all your tools and all the bits and pieces that you got there. New products added all the time. Virtually every day we're adding new products to that now. Yes, Louise. What have you got?
Yes, Birmingham, 18th of April.
Okay.
So if you fancy a trip to the Jewellery Quarter, you could combine it with Kerry's Diamonds for Designer courses, which is excellent. And then you can tell your moissanites from your CZs, from your diamonds, and all the other sibilants like I can.
Well done, well done.
Yeah, so yeah, I've just put the link in the chat anyway,
cool, thank you.
If anyone's interested.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Okay, so another question then, my dear, shall we?
Yes. Let's see. Oh, Helena is saying, would a steam iron do the same trick as a handheld cleaner?
No.
It wouldn't really blast it, would it?
The steam comes out, but it's the pressure of the steam coming out that works with the steam cleaner. It's not necessarily the steam, it's the pressure, it's the force that the steam comes out that does help dislodge all the dirt. Yeah. Go for it then, Lou, go for it.
Good. Okay. What sort of handheld steam cleaner is it, and where do you buy them, the handheld?
They're not handheld.
Oh, they're not, are they? Okay.
They're not handheld, they sit on the bench, and it is basically a box with a couple of pipes coming out of it, and you fill it with water, it heats up, pressurized container, foot pedal, push the foot pedal, steam comes shooting out. It is damn hot because it's over 100 degrees, even though water boils at 100, if it's under pressure, it is hotter than 100 degrees, and it does make a mess on the floor because the steam comes shooting out. It's not handheld, it's bench. We got ours from guys in Brussels. Cannot for the life of me remember their name now, but it is about £1,200. Yep.
But it's good.
Oh, absolutely brilliant! Yeah, this is the thing, is I went for years without one. Then I bought one on eBay that was an Italian one that was quite small, and that was really good. And I wondered how I did without it. Then it broke. Then I thought, I'm not spending that much money on a new one. And I thought, actually, yes, they are really good because we do repairs. We need the pieces spotless before we do any work on them. For instance, retipping and so forth, working on settings. If the stones aren't clean, the dirt on the backs of the stones are going to burn when you put the flame near them. So we've got to make sure that everything is perfectly clean. So a steam cleaner for us is essential. Yes, Lise, let's have another question.
Okay. Kristen is saying, I've made a few pointed pear shapes using 2mm wire. Any tricks to the mitre join at the top? I've been sawing one side then the other, but are a bit fiddly to make it snug.
you don't have to make it a mitre joint. Okay, let's see which pen is it works. So I presume with it pear-shaped settings, and it's the trouble with the mitre joint. You don't need it, okay? So here is your board cam. Here is your pear-shaped stone. Okay, there is your pear-shaped stone. Good. You get your piece of metal. I'll do that in a different colour today. Piece of metal, okay? You make sure it comes around like this, comes around nice and close to your stone, and it comes up here, and you don't know quite what to do with it, okay? What you do, you cut your piece of metal here, right where the stone comes along, then that piece can come up like that. So at this area here, we have your metal is like this, and here's your other piece of metal then coming up.
You're a little bit on the wonk.
Am I on the wonk?
Yeah.
Only slightly.
Okay.
You get the general...
It's giving me the ick.
It gives you... Okay, so there's the stone here. So the metal comes along, and all you got to do then is not cut it off, is to solder it. Then you can cut it off then once you soldered it. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to do that. You're trying to get your mitre joints right on the top, and they are going to be impossible. Make your life easy, do it that way, overlap it, and no one's going to know. Yes, Lewis, have another. Ooh, wrong one. That's the one. Let's have another question.
Tanya has a pendant drill. My mum bought me a pendant drill. Yay!
Nice.
Happy new pendant drill. Fab.
Absolutely.
Okay. Michael's saying, will Andrew get his grill for the 100th Q&A? That'd be good, wouldn't it?
My grills.
Your grills, yeah. I'll tell you what was good. Oh, I'm not plugged in here, am I?
Oh, no, you're not. No.
I was going to show you the...
Let's plug you in.
Speaking of... Did anybody see the BAFTAs last night? Did you see Salma Hayek's earring?
There we go. You're on. If I knew who it was, I'd...
Yes, you know who she is.
I don't know.
You saw it on the telly.
Did I? Can we go on to laptop view?
Yeah, I'll show you, apart from a gorgeous dress, she had... I can't find the photo now, it's on here. I put it on Facebook, didn't I? And I would like a video. I'm requesting a video.
Oh, the seagull perched on top of her ear.
Not a seagull.
I thought it was the seagull on top of the ear, wasn't it?
I don't think it was a seagull.
There was a seagull perched on top of her ear.
I can't find the photo, put it on Facebook. But
there was a seagull perched on top of her ear.
I don't think it didn't look like a seagull to me.
It was like a seagull.
There.
Hang on.
Not
Where?
That's not a seagull.
A seagull flapping its wings, coming down to land on top of her ear.
How is that counterbalance then?
It's most probably coming down behind her ear, isn't it?
Oh, see.
Or it even could be connected to the earring that she's got.
If you start that now, I can have one of them to wear to the awards in 2 weeks. No pressure. It's fab, isn't it, Jill? I think if that gets to 100 reactions on Facebook, I think you have to. That's what we're going to say.
So all it is a seagull on top of somebody's ear.
It's not a seagull.
It's like that. It's like that.
It's a hummingbird. Thank you. A parrot. Yeah. It's not a seagull.
I honestly thought, what is she doing with the seagull on her ear?
Look at that. If you think that's
she's coming down for a chips, or she's coming down for it's coming down for a pie.
Slap a pasty out of her hand, yeah.
She's munching a Greg's pasty.
Looks like it's got a wee fish in it.
Let's have a look back into. Sorry, where's it gone? There you go.
I love it.
What is it?
Actually, it does look like a little parrot to me.
That's a seagull.
It's not a seagull. It's 100% not a seagull. A seagull. I don't think it is. I think it looks like a parrot. Well, don't make mine a seagull though, will you? Let's vote. Yeah, it's
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's on the Facebook page anyway.
Whatever will they think of next?
Parrot. Yeah, I thought parrot. See, all the girls are saying parrot.
Parrots don't land. No, parrots don't have their wings like that.
Yes,
Seagulls
they do.
Seagulls do. They go.
A parrot in flight would be like that.
It's like that. Yeah, a parrot. Like that. Like that. That's a parrot. Like that.
Oh, that's amazing. Look at that. Never seen a better drawing of a parrot in my life.
Give us another question.
Okay. So can we have a video?
I'm making a parrot. It's not a parrot, it's a seagull. Come on.
Okay.
Let's have another one. I'm halfway through your La Croix pendant.
Yeah. That's looking good. I've ordered the stones for that. How far did we get?
See, everyone says looks like a seagull to me. Thank you, everyone. Seagull. Diane says looks like a seagull.
Really? Oh,
yes. No. Pat says seagull. Thank you.
Okay. Angela is saying I used the Deadco radial sunbursts to polish my metal and it has a weird texture. Will I have to start over with sanding? I hate sanding.
The radial, you're on about the radial disc, 3M? Is it 3M? 3M?
Radial sunbursts.
I suppose you're on about the little...
I think another ones.
There with the things like...
They got like little fingers.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah, fronds.
Like that. Hate them. Hate them. They're £1. They cost about £1 for one individual one, and I think that is an absolute rip-off myself. I would never buy them. I feel that if that's £1, they suggest you stack.
Oh, that's 3M.
They suggest you stack them. I'm sorry, but you stack 3 or 4 of them. That's £4 or £5 you have wasted on those abrasives. Don't do it. Get yourself some white nylon brushes. Thank you. So much cheaper. Well, I go through them. If you actually got some, if I bought some.
I don't know, have you?
No.
I know, I've seen them. We have got them somewhere. I doubt you've bought them though.
I'd never pay that much money.
We probably sneaked them in when you weren't looking.
The better ones that we've been using are the Eve polishing ones. The Eve, we're getting some Eve products, although they're not branded as Eve yet on the website, but we're getting the silicone wheels and points and everything. Yeah, we're getting all those and something similar. The problem with these, they're great, but they're too thin, and when you spin them, the bits come flying off, even if you spin them at a lower speed, and that's your £1 gone. You might as well just throw your money down the drain buying those things. If they've produced a texture, stop using them. Stop using them. Resand it, refinish it. That would be your best bet. Or, as I said, here we go. What's this? This is the. Here we go. These are the Eve ones. These are much better. Why? Because they are a lot thicker, much better. They're a lot stronger. You can see they are much stronger. These you could buy about. How much are these? Can't remember. £1, £1.30. You could buy 4 of these for. Yes, you get general just the idea. Something like that is brilliant. They do them in various grits, and I've also got my thingy-majig is not spinning around. But yeah, white nylon brushes. That is what you want. Again, we sell them in the store, so you're going to have to refinish it. You have to resand it to try and get any marks out. Perhaps they were too coarse and they've put some lines or some grooves into the piece perhaps, but if that's the case, you've got to refinish the surface and then repolish. Yes, Lou, next time another question.
Okay, Delmar is saying, hey you guys, thank you so much for helping me out. You guys are awesome teachers. I've only been doing jewellery for about 2 months now. I've been an arborist tree climber for 22 years.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
I've always fancied climbing trees like that.
Yeah, I think I'd be scared. I don't like heights, but that's fabulous. Because I worked in the dental industry for 20 years. So, yeah, which sparked a whole debate, didn't it, of changing careers and
yes.
got people talking. So, yeah, that's amazing, fabulous.
Cool. That's really good.
Okay, let's see. Amco is saying, happy early birthday, Andrew.
Thank you.
Any tools you're hoping to get? Not that you didn't drop any hints for a happy birthday.
Am I after any tools? No. Not after any tools. I did want a shaver. My father said he's got an electric shaver. You ought to get one of these, and he said you ought to get one of these. Oh, you can shave in the kitchen, you can shave it on the sofa. If you go to work and you forget to just put it in your pocket, you can shave at your bench. I mean, oh Dad, that's nice. Yeah, I'll have one of them. Turns out he's not going to bother giving me one now.
You don't know what you're having.
He's going to give me the money now.
You sound like such a brat, honestly. You'll have to wait and see what you get, won't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Amco, tools-wise, no. I don't think I got anything planned for tools. No, 'cause I had my my GRS Dura ball and attachments. I've had that. They're still in the packets, and perhaps I'm going to have a play around with that. So that, I suppose, is my birthday present, isn't it? So we'll have to see what happens, won't we? See if I do get my my shaver in the end off my father. Who knows? Do you want another question?
Yeah. Dan is saying, "Oh my God, not in the kitchen." Yes, in the kitchen.
Yes.
Just because you can do something,
yeah,
doesn't necessarily mean that you should. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Okay, how far did we get? Mary Ann is saying, "What's the best way to start learning and using gravers?"
Is to buy some basic cheapy sort of engravers. We don't have a US distributor for Sally Spencer's book in the US, unfortunately. It does cost a lot of money. We send everything tracked now, so it's like £10 or £11 to send it because things have gone missing. So we make sure that it's tracked, it gets there quicker, and you can be sure what you're sending is going to get there. But unfortunately, it does cost a money.
It is going to cost a bomb, but I don't think you'd be disappointed with it because it is brilliant.
Really,
so,
really
I mean, that's
book.
all I can say, really. And I know it's not really helpful, is it? Because it's doubling the cost, but
it is a good book. It is a good book. Yeah, absolutely. When you buy gravers, the gravers are in fact, I got some gravers here today. Or have I got a graver in here? I got some gravers around the place. Aha. Got one. So this is a graver as you would buy it, okay? These are gravers as we've got here. Let's try and find the knife edge one, shall we? That's right, here we go. So these are gravers that you would buy. They look something like that. One end, this end here is called the tang. It's yellow. I don't know why they put them yellow, but these are the tangs. These are high-speed steel, and this is the rest of the graver. The problem is the gravers are always far too long, and I'm frantically trying to find, here we go. The gravers are always too long. So what you need to do, when you put them in the handle, if that was there, that would be far too long. So you've got to snap them to make them shorter. That's your number one way of doing that. And what you do, you put that in the vise, you put some cloth over it, make sure you get your safety specs and hammer it, and it'll snap. You don't need the whole length, because when it goes in the palm of your hand, the graver has to just come to the end of your fingers, okay? If you had this guy in place, the graver would be all the way down there, and you can't really gain a lot of control. So always make sure the gravers are mounted in a handle, then make them shorter to make them more easy to use. So the gravers then are going to be that shape. What you would do is that because the graver only cuts on this little area by here, okay, what you want to do is remove all of that. Yep, like that. Or you could do it in 2 stages if you want to, whatever you want to do. You remove that, so all you're left with is a very, very small little face, and that is all that needs to be sharpened. It's this face and this face by here, literally a fraction of a millimeter in is all you need to polish. So you don't need to polish the whole face of the graver because it doesn't do anything. This is the only area, and that is why you remove all of that, because that's all you want. We are going to do, I think, a Q&A on gravers and that sort of thing at a later stage. But that would be my first thing. What shapes do you want? Get yourself 2 or 3 different shapes. This is the shape they're going to be. You can buy the knife edge that looks like that. You can then buy the square shape that would look like that. And perhaps you would have a slightly rounded bottom one that looked like that. So those are the 3 shapes: spit sick, no, not a bit stick, a spit stick, an oblong or a square, and that's a rounded bottom. They come in various sizes. It doesn't matter to start off with. It's just shaping it, putting them in the handle and getting used to them. So that is how you prepare some gravers.
Good.
Don't have enough time to go into any more detail, I'm afraid.
Is there anything on at the bench?
There's how to put gravers in handles, I think, on YouTube. At the bench does have a way of shaping gravers. Yes, that's on At the Bench.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
So, yes, I thank you for that.
Okay.
But yeah, make sure they're high-speed steel, HSSs. You can spend a fortune. We've got a few of these going on our store over the next few days. They are knife edge, round and square. So we've got these. These are really cheap. They are quite a basic high-speed steel. They're not top of the range, but they are ideal for playing around with and practicing. And you can get graver handles on the store as well. Yes, Louise, let's have another question.
Okay, David is saying, if you only use silver, is it worth reclaiming, or is the cost of the reclamation greater than the return from the reclaimed metal?
You are going to have to save up a lot to get your money back. But what you could do is get a few of your friends together, or perhaps go on Facebook and find somebody who's fairly local to you and pool it all together. So say you have, I don't know, 60 grams and your mate's got 1.6 kilo or whatever, work out the percentage wise, send it off. When the money comes back, split the bill and the percentage wise of what you've given. That's the only thing I can suggest. Otherwise, it is going to be expensive. What are refining charges in this country now? They are 15, 20 pounds. And that's a lot of money if all you've got is a little bit of silver. And sometimes it's not worth it. So yes, save it up for years and years and years, or go with a friend and work out your percentage wise of each. And then that's the best way then to get your money back, and then you can share the cost down. Let's have another question, please, Louise.
Okay. Dylan is saying, of all the things your shop makes and sells, what is the most requested and or wanted sales piece? Rings, pendants, or chains, etc.
You can answer this, Louise, can't you?
Well, we sell a couple of brands, don't we? Quite a few
Yes.
brands, and I would say probably Nomination, Clog Eye, and Thomas Sabo do very well.
Yes.
They're the main sellers. Lately, we've started dealing in pre-owned, vintage, and antique jewellery, and that started to do very, very well.
But all we've been buying on that is rings. So in one respect, that's all we're really selling is rings.
I can't say, like, the workshop, there's not one particular thing that we get asked for commission-wise more than anything else, is it?
No. It is primarily rings.
Doing a lot of ring resizing at the moment, aren't we?
Yes, because people put weight on over COVID.
Yeah, chain repairing. But yeah, in terms of things that we sell, it's...
It is a good question, but it'd be interesting to go back through the till we got, the point of sale, and have a look at the EPOS, to have a look and see what is sold.
Because we keep an eye on, like, Nomination is...
it's all bracelets, isn't it?
It's all bracelets, but we sell them all day long, don't we? People around here absolutely love them. And we have to keep a really close eye on what we're buying and what we're selling, because if the sales start to decline, we wouldn't necessarily notice straight away. And if we keep buying in the charms at the rate that we were to supply the initial demand, then we're going to potentially end up with
dead stock.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to differ from area to area, and for yeah, it is.
I know everyone's got 2 ears, 10 fingers, or 8 fingers and thumbs and whatever, 1 neck, but it's, don't know.
It's trends, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, yeah. So I can't tell you exactly what's what.
At art shows, yeah, you know. But the thing we sell with the charm bracelets, they're collectible, aren't they? And once you've filled one, you've got all these links that you've taken off, and you start again, and then buy one for your friend, or buy one for your, I don't know.
If people are buying presents, because we don't accept earrings back, we don't sell as many earrings really unless they're really sure on what they're buying.
Yeah.
But then again, they won't necessarily buy a ring because they don't know the person's finger size.
Yeah.
So perhaps if people come in buying things for teachers or for people who are leaving, it's mostly pendants.
Yeah, that's true.
In that respect. But for personal purchases, I just think it's a general across the board, isn't it?
Most people just want help, don't they? They just want to come in and they just want your time and your advice, and that's...
No,
And
exactly.
if they've left feeling like you've given them that time and advice and they've had a nice experience, then they're generally happy, aren't
exactly. Yeah, that's a good one, that. Yeah, good. So that's our answer.
Yeah, there's no answer.
There's no answer,
Sorry,
no
Dylan,
answer.
yeah.
Unless they're coming in to buy for us presents and then it's going to be a pendant. Yes.
Yeah.
And talking of pendants.
What? What's that? Oh, yeah, Janet wanted to see, didn't she? Yeah. Janet asked to see the daffodil pendant that I was finishing off with my new micromotor.
That is in the front room now on the setter's bench.
So yeah, this is...
How close can we go? Woo, there we
so
go.
I sent these up to Dual Cast to get them cast up there.
Yeah, and these are, this is like a daffodil that we made up many, many moons ago. And we've got rubber molds made of it. And we have these cast. We could cast them, but I'm just too lazy.
Don't show the back.
Why? It's not the back's good. The back's as it should. And that's got a little bail upon the top, and that's where we've had that
I get
hole
really
marked.
stressed out about the backs.
So that's what we got. That's the little daffodils that we've got that do sell. And this is a gold one. They do sell very well, don't they?
Yeah, we do them in silver as well.
We do them in silver. So there we go. Show us your daffs.
Yeah.
Right, let's have another question,
Oh.
please, Louise.
Yeah, that is nice. Thank you. Okay. Right. David is saying, which is the best cleanest solution?
For
ultrasonic?
ultrasonic, in this country, I use Dual Clean. I use Dual Clean. Any ultrasonic fluid is going to be better than nothing. Don't try and use some dishwasher or fairy liquid or dish soap, anything like that. It is not formulated for an ultrasonic. Dual Clean, anything like that is going to be brilliant. Don't get stuff with ammonia because that really does hurt your eyes. But non-ammoniated ultrasonic solution, we use Dual Clean, and we buy that in the 5 litre containers because it's cheaper than when they send it by courier. When we get ours, I'm not quite sure where you are, we get ours from Betts Metals. And COVID, we did get an Elmer ultrasonic solution that actually killed the coronavirus, and we did use that. And a small litre container was about £40, but we used that because at the time COVID was pretty rife, wasn't it? So we used that quite a bit. But Best Metal sells Dual Clean, and that's what we recommend.
Alexandra's saying, can you use Dual Clean in a tumbler?
No.
No?
No, you should only use a specially formulated barrel polishing substance soap. We use Barrel Bright. And again, I wouldn't use Dawn or anything like that wherever you are in the world. I wouldn't use anything. I would use something that is going to be formulated. Barrel Bright has rust
Inhibitor?
That's the one. Inhibitors. Inhibitors that we leave then our shot in all the time, and it doesn't rust because it has inhibitors in it.
It's kind of like a slimy
It
solution,
is,
isn't it?
yes, and we
Feels
use
horrible.
it in the Magpol as well, the magnetic polisher as well. Yes, absolutely. Let's have another question, please, Lou.
Okay, Delmar is saying, I have loose solder strips with numbers on them and I don't know what the numbers related to hardness. There's SS56, SS65, SS70 and SS75.
Oh, I've no
So
idea.
56, 65, 70 and 75, excuse me.
So silver solder. Okay, that's in your mic off, there you go. So I don't know what that would be for. It may be it may relate to the melting temperature. So what was it, SS 75? Does that melt at 750 degrees perhaps?
65, 70 and 75. Oh, yeah.
If you had a naught on there, is that the melting temperature? Don't know. Perhaps.
Can anybody help Delma with this question?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but that could well be it. Yes, okay. Apart from that, I don't know. I'd have to look that up actually. That's quite an interesting question now.
Okay.
I have to find out what it is. Yes. Louise, have another one.
Jane is saying, I've read not to use ultrasonic on emeralds. Is it okay to use solution on toothbrush? And what do you think of soaking in mineral oil?
Over to you, Louise.
Well, I always thought that you couldn't use, you can't immerse an oil-filled emerald.
No.
But then can you I'm presuming you can just wipe it with like a damp cloth.
I would have thought.
But it probably wouldn't do, because if you're scrubbing it with a toothbrush, with a wet toothbrush.
Don't know. Again, you'd have to err on the side of caution. Perhaps, I think you can, because the stones are exposed to day-to-day wear. People put their hands in dishwashers, washing ups and washing their hands, hand cleaner, that sort of thing. So I would have thought that some ultrasonic solution on a gentle toothbrush, just brushed over to remove any caked on dirt, would be fine. But don't keep it immersed in the water, don't keep it in an ultrasonic or anything like that at all.
If you're just going to dip it, you might as well just wipe it with just a slightly damp cloth.
Okay.
I don't know, do you think? Or?
I think ultrasonic solution has been formulated to break down dirt, isn't it?
But just go the easiest or the lightest route that you can on it first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it that way.
Yeah, soaking in mineral oil. I wouldn't go soaking anything afterwards. Don't see. You may end up with problems. You may end up with different colours. And if it's somebody else's stone and you've messed up and it's a different colour when you give it back to them, you're in all sorts of trouble, are you?
You're right in the doo-doo then.
You certainly are. Let's have another question.
Okay. Kevin is saying, I still don't have a full understanding of what grits, mops, reedowels, rubber or silicone flex shaft tools to use on silver. When do I use them and what are they for?
So we did the whole polishing workshop about 2 weeks ago now, isn't it? 2 weeks ago. And we went through all the types of emery papers and the grits and the silicone wheels and the points and everything that way. So really what you should do is start off with the coarsest and work up to the finest. Now when you're looking at things like Eve products, Eve Flex and all those sort of Eve products, the black is the coarsest. There is perhaps an extra coarse, but it goes to black. And the finest is going to be, is it light pink, if I remember right? Light pink, or a very, very light green, depending on which silicone rubber you're using. So you should always start off with the coarsest and work up to the finest. That is the only way really you can work, because each grit gets rid of the previous grit's marks. So if you are, and this also applies to things like buff sticks and emery paper, and always try and work at right angles to the direction that you worked in previously. So say you've got some coarse radial discs, rubber wheels, rubber points, whatever it would be, okay? And you've got a piece of metal that is like that, and you just want to polish it, okay? So what you would do, you would use perhaps your coarse is go in this direction, okay? So that's the direction that you're going on with the coarse, all right? So once you've done that, you then will swap over to perhaps the next grit down that perhaps is a medium, and you work now at 90 degrees. So instead of working in this direction, you'll be working in this direction, okay? And the idea is you keep working in this direction until the only marks you see are going in this direction. If you can still see an odd mark going at 90 degrees, it means that you haven't gone far enough with this particular type of grit. And the same applies to the emery paper. So once you've done that and you look at the surface and all you see are lines or textures going in that direction, swap out to your finer one, okay? And now go back in 90 degrees or even 45 degrees, and you can go across this way. And the idea is then to keep working finer and finer and finer, and then all you'll be left then is with that, okay? You won't have any of the previous grit showing. And you keep working through the grits that way. And it's the same as you use, it would be like a silicone point. It'd be the same as you use a piece of emery paper or a piece of wet and dry. You always work at 90 degrees or opposite directions to where you just used with the finer paper. That's very quick, and the same applies to things like when you come to polish with little mops, and say you've got these little there we go. If you've got these little mops that you use in a Dremel or a pendant motor, the way I look at it is that if this mop is hard and you bang that mop and it's hard, use that with a pre-polish. You've got a mop like this that's lovely and soft, okay? Then if it's lovely and soft, it's not going to scratch, and you're going to use that with rouge. So a tripoli or a pre-polish, and Louise couldn't get her head around a pre-polish. Well, either polishing it or not, but it's a pre-polish tripoli or a pre-polish hard mop. Rouge, final, high finish, lovely and soft. Yes, Louise, let's have another question. I don't know what else to say in the short time we have, but that is the best way that we can look at it.
Okay. Esther is saying, would you make a wishbone shaped ring using the same principle as the pear shape? No, I wouldn't do that. It's a good question. What I would do is get your strip of metal, make it a little bit longer than what you actually need for the finger size. Then what I would do is come along on the end and go whoop like that on that end. Well, not physically go whoop, but go whoop like that, okay? Okay, so that's your bit of metal that goes like that on the end. Then you bend that round and the ring comes round, and the ring will come round like this, yeah. And the ring will overlap. The two ends will go one above the other like that. So the one bit they come up there and the other bit comes underneath like that, okay? That's what I would do. And then where they cross over, and these rings, this come round here, that ring will come round there. And then where they cross over, then I would saw straight the way through. And then, yes, I would mitre that. That would be the best way to do it that way. I wouldn't try and do it and cut that one like that and put the other, because on a ring you may actually see the solder joint is going to be on the sides here as opposed to being right on the end. So if it was me, no, that's the way I would do it. That was my foot, not me. So another question. You said anything.
In case my mic picked that up. It was my heel on my stool here. Let's have another question.
Andrew, we believe you.
He protects us too much.
Okay. How far did it get?
There you go.
You're trying to do it again now, aren't you?
No, yeah. Let's have another question.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything that time. That's the difference. Oh, sorry, this has just jumped again. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the seagull versus parrot argument. Janet is saying my Everflex rubber burrs keep flying off of the shank. I've tried going slow, going fast, changing directions, everything I can think of. What am I doing wrong, please?
Perhaps it's the pressure. Perhaps it's the pressure you're putting on it. I haven't had any problems. Yes, I would have thought perhaps it would be speed, but I think it's going to be perhaps the surface you're putting over. If the surface is very rough, it's most probably chewing up the rubber. Or well, it could well be pressure as well. Perhaps you're pushing too hard, but they only really do need a light pressure. You don't want to push too hard so they deform too much. If they deform too much, the rubber is really flexing and it could snap. But just gentle coming round and I think you should be fine. Doesn't matter really what speed. Don't think it should be going above more than 7,000 revs. If you've got a micromotor, you can work out that exactly right. But if it's just a flex shaft, just go really, really slowly with it and gentle, and I think you should be fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Henka 07, I've decided to set an amethyst in a setting. Stone is emerald cut, but it's got a crack and heavy inclusion in one corner. Anything I should be particularly cautious of for myself to learn?
There's you can, it depends on how you're going to set it. Perhaps what you want to do is to avoid putting any stress on that corner initially at all, completely, because if there's a crack or there's an inclusion or there's some natural flaws within the corner, it will crack if a bit of pressure is applied at the wrong point. So perhaps what I would do is, depending on what you're going to be setting at, if you have got a claw setting, I'm just going to do this for quickly argument's sake. What you would normally do is have a claw setting like this. You would cut out that, you would cut out that, or you would do that. Let's do that instead, shall we? Okay, then your stone fits in like that. Then you push the claws over. The problem is by pushing the claws over, you could be putting quite a bit of pressure here or anywhere along this edge when you push that claw over. So to make your life a little bit easier, so you don't do that, is on the one side of the stone the one side of the stone that does have the fracture on the corner, if you're trying to set it, is what I would do is before you actually put the stone into place would be to do the bearing. Then I would bend the claw over before the stone goes into place. Then put the stone in and drop the stone down, if you can do it that way, or put the stone in and then bend this claw in. So no pressure is really put directly onto that corner because you've already moved the claw down sufficiently to get the stone in place. That's what I would do, and that's the same sort of thing that would work if you've got a square, say a square bezel setting, okay? So there's your square bezel setting. I would do exactly the same thing. If this is the corner where your stone's going to go in, I would just ease in the corner over a little bit. So this is the bezel here. I would burnish it over here. So when the stone slides in, this top edge is actually touching the stone, so you don't have to put any pressure onto it. Then you carry on bezel setting around the rest of the corners, but this is in theory preset and ready burnished before the stone goes into place.
Stephen has suggested a segmented bezel.
You could do,
That's
yes.
a good idea. He said that would be super gentle on that cracked corner.
Yep, exactly right, because then what you would do is perhaps just remove that little corner from there, and likewise here.
But then isn't that corner be susceptible to knocks? Then that's
yes,
the only problem.
that's the only problem that you've got. Yes,
with a corner that you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Grab yourself a new stone, if possible. Yes, but yeah, those are the sort of things that I would do, is so you don't put pressure on top of that corner. It's already set when the stone goes into place. Let's have another question. Should we have, it's nearly time. It's got another 10 minutes to go. Yes,
fast, isn't it?
Flies by.
Julia is saying, I bought some of your white nylon brushes. They are so much softer than the scratchy, stiff versions I got on eBay. I'm a convert.
Me.
Yay,
Now,
thank
this
you.
is the thing. It has taken me a long while to get the manufacturer to get the right sort of the right material. You can buy bristle brushes, you can buy goat's hair, you can buy, I don't know, badger hair, zebra hair, I don't know, whatever it is, horse hair. I'm not quite sure it's actually badger or whatever, zebra, but that'd be really cool, wouldn't it? Zebra hair, have it all? No, not at all. You could have, so I've gone through all the natural bristles and things like that, but the reason I don't like them is that you spin them a little bit too fast, the bristles come out, they stick in your clothes, and I don't like that. So there's lots of different types of white nylon brushes out there, but it has taken me a long time to get the right supplier that has the right sort of, as you say, right, I'm trying to say, squidginess to the bristles. Yeah, like the resistance, yeah, or they're not too stiff. If they're too stiff, they're not going to conform, they're not going to polish. But these brushes, we found, I think they're made in the UK, and they are brilliant. Totally believe in them 100%. And I'm glad you're finding them useful as well. Thank you.
Good. Delmar saying, how can I send you guys pictures? Send anything like that to Louise at andrewberry.co.uk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Another question.
Okay. Bernie is saying, how do you attach sandpaper to your pendant motor bit, and which bits do you use?
Again, the majority of the tools we talk about we sell in the store, but it is a parallel split mandrel. So it is a mandrel that is long, perhaps not that long, but it is a mandrel. It's roughly around about 60 millimeters in length. Okay, so that's the mandrel. This is 2.35, and I'll just put it on the board cam. 2.35 mil or 3/32 of an inch. That is the shaft. That goes into your flex shaft, that goes into your micromotor or whatever you've got. This is the rest of the mandrel. This is roughly around about 30 millimeters, yeah, from there to there. Then along here is a little split that goes all the way up like that, there, to there, and that goes like that, there. And that is a split that runs up, I think that's like roughly around about 20 mil, 15 to 20 millimeters. That splits from there to there. And the idea is then you put your little bit of emery paper in that split. As you turn the mandrel, the emery paper will spin onto your doofers. There we go. And that's one that I made earlier. And I used a glue gun on that, and that holds the emery paper together. Oh, just like that. Louise's favourite tool is a glue. We love a glue gun. So, talking of glue guns, that's a white nylon brush that we sell. You can see they're slightly translucent, and this is what I was meaning. That is a parallel split mandrel. Okay, you can just about see the split in there, and this is a piece of emery paper, as you can see. Let's go on the overhead, because that's going to be a little bit easier for you to see. He says he drops that. So you put the mandrel in your right hand, you put the bit of emery paper in there, and then you spin that around, you spin that around, spin it around, spin it around, spin it around. Then you can get your glue gun then to put onto this area like I have done there, and it holds it all together. But that is how then you make your little sanding drums to go in your flex shaft. Louise, let's have another question.
Okay. Ben is saying, great content, always, and so much information for free. Can't thank you enough as a 3D jewellery designer.
Hey, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
That's lovely. Okay. We're nearly out of time.
And we do have to shoot off tonight, so there's no dilly-dally and shilly-shallying at 5 o'clock, Louise.
Okay. I'm not the dilly-dally, shilly-shallyer. That's you. That's your middle name.
Is that right? Which one?
Andrew Berry Dilly-Dally Shilly-Shally. Andrew Shilly-Shally Dilly-Dally Berry.
Thank you. Let's have another question.
Okay. Synaptic Dragon, does anyone recommend Etsy over Rio Otto for base metals?
Don't know. I think, personally speaking, depending on quantities, I know I've wanted to buy some copper. I would not go to any jewellery supplier that sells copper. I went to the company that sold the copper, because you get a better price from them, and also you have it cut to whatever shape you wanted as well. I remember doing some copper blanks for a trade show, and to get them from somewhere like Cookson, the price was absolutely ridiculous. So I went straight to the supplier, I think it was in Birmingham, and they cut the blanks for me exactly the right thickness, the right length, everything for me, and it was far cheaper than somewhere like Cookson. Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah. But
yeah,
also
I wouldn't think to look on Etsy for something like.
No, again, loads of
But then
people sell
there's
stuff
so
on
much-
Etsy, but there's also, you've got to be careful, you know.
There's so much which is not what it's described as, and we see a
yes.
lot of the people
That is
bring
the
in.
problem.
Oh, can you make this? Can you make that? It's usually engagement rings, isn't it? And they've seen it on Etsy for like 200 quid, and it claims to be, 9-carat yellow gold and.
Yeah,
And it's
diamonds
just-
and things, it's never going to work out right. And even if they say what it is, you can't be guaranteed it is. So I would be very careful buying anything that could be missold. And
I think if it can
that's
be
harsh
missold
thing
on
to
Etsy,
say.
it probably is, by some people, isn't it? But then that's awful because it just dilutes the people who are doing it with integrity.
It does, because you bought something on Etsy, didn't you? For me, my gym sign.
See. Oh yes, sorry,
Yes,
yeah.
that was brilliant.
That was brilliant, yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't really missell
No, exactly.
an iron sign, can you?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose you can, but it's a low risk
Yes,
purchase,
it is,
really,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're just going to stick
absolutely,
it on your own wall. It's not. Yeah, I think I didn't pay a lot for it, though. Sorry.
Let's have another
Yeah.
question.
You have got to be careful, haven't you?
Yeah, really got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
even if this was something else that going back to what you just said about Etsy and that sort of thing, is it better? We had somebody who came in the store, didn't they? And they said they had an emerald.
This is something else I wanted to talk about. Yeah, the emerald. That was good, wasn't it?
So yeah, so this lady came in with a stone. She wanted it mounted in a pendant. She said it was an emerald, and it was about 20 mil long by about 8 millimeters wide. Perfect.
Deep as well, wasn't
Deep.
it? The
Not an
depth.
inclusion, not a mark, not a fissure, whatever you want to call them. Nothing in it at all. And I turned around to the woman. I was really cheeky. I said, "Well, if this is an emerald, this would have cost you millions." And I shouldn't have
No,
said
you didn't
that.
say that. What you said was there were people in the shop, and you said, if this is an emerald, it's worth millions. And everybody in the shop just tools down and looks. And it's like, oh, well done, Andrew, that's brilliant.
That's not the thing to say.
I mean, it wasn't an emerald. If that was an emerald, then I'm a chimpanzee. It was just...
The lady bought it on an auction site. She had a certificate with it as well. This was the thing, even though it had a certificate with it, it had some gemological company's name on it. Fictitious, I would have thought, or it's just been made up for the purpose of selling. It had a little QR code, didn't go anywhere. It had the refractive index. It was wrong. The refractive index
emerald
would
is
not have been an
doubly
emerald.
refractive, and it just gave one
Yeah,
value, which I don't... Well, and the QR code...
yeah.
took you nowhere,
Nowhere.
so there was no further information, and
No.
it was just there wasn't an inclusion in it.
It
person-made, or lab-grown, or
Nothing.
natural.
It did have
nothing.
stone emerald treated.
But normally, if it was a lab-grown
Oh, yeah.
stone, you'd see like wispy veils. I think it looks a little bit like cigarette smoke, or you might see they look like sort of nails sometimes. But there was nothing, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And she said to her husband, go to the car, get the certificate. So we were just there going, oh God. So he came back with the certificate, and it's like, oh, and it's awkward, isn't it? When we couldn't ask her how much she paid for it. I just couldn't face asking her.
No,
And
not
I said,
at
where
all.
did you get it? And she said the internet. And yeah, we put it on the Polariscope. And
We did all the tests we could, didn't we?
tested it, and I just said, I'm really sorry. It's
The results showed that it is not
yeah.
an emerald.
It tested as glass.
And then we say, okay, well, the ladies came in and wanted a pendant made, and we said, well, if you thought it was an emerald and you want to put it in a pendant as an emerald, it's up to you whether you want to go ahead and do it. But if you just like the stone, you don't mind what it is, yeah, we'll happily make up the pendant. And she did. She loved the stone and wanted it made up.
This is what we said. We said it is what it is. It's a lovely colour. It's a nice size. It wasn't an unattractive stone. It was, and it's what she had. So she was happy enough to still go ahead. But again, it just goes to show. But then if she comes in and says this is an emerald, and then we write down and say it's an emerald and then acknowledge that it's an emerald, and then she finds out a few years down the line that actually it's not an emerald, she could come back to us and say, well, I gave you an emerald and you've said it's an emerald on your paperwork, and now how have I not got an emerald?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I'm not saying that you all need to...
You still need to cover your backs.
You do, even if you just don't describe it as such, or... But you can do a course with Kerry as well on the polariscope, and if you put it on a polariscope, you could... It's not quite as simple as giving a little twizzle and then because there's other things you need to look out for, like strain and things like that in the stones. But you might not be able to tell your customer what it is, but you can certainly tell them what it's not, and that's what's really important. You can say,
yes,
it's not an emerald for X, Y, and Z reasons. Yeah, so that's.
But so we still had the commission to make up the pendant anyway, because she just loved the stone.
Well, I don't know if she was happy. She didn't really say. I think she was a little bit embarrassed, which is
that was my fault. It's worth millions.
Oh, I know, Mr. Tact. Yeah, and then I came out and I said, "Oh, what a lovely colour." I thought, "Can I say something positive? It's a very pretty stone." But Yes.
So that's the thing. Yeah, we did various tests. We did the refractive index, polariscope. Did you have a Chelsea filter?
I didn't.
We didn't bother in the end.
Do that? No, we didn't. It was like a darkish green, wasn't it? So
we did all the tests possible that we could, and we showed her the results, and they conclude that it's not an emerald. So so we wrote up on the packet the size and not emerald, and just green stone. Yeah, absolutely. Sure, one last question, please, Louise. Let's have one last one, then we shall do some. What do I say? I always say, with the stones, it's just like teeth. Just floss the ones you want to keep. So look after the ones you want to keep. Make notes of the ones you want to keep. Anyway, let's go. Let's have another question. Sorry, Louise.
I think we keep buffering, and I'm not sure. I might just be on here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Amparo was saying, I melted pure silver using propane and oxygen. Now the silver got a bit of a yellow tone. Any idea to remove oxygen from silver?
So if you're going to have that, thank you, Jill. Appreciate it. So if you have too much oxygen when you're melting down, silver will absorb the oxygen. So when you're melting down metal, you don't want to have a really harsh flame. You must not hear the it's just too much oxygen. Turn the oxygen down. I think once you've got too much oxygen in the silver, I don't know how you'd actually get that out, whether you'd have to remelt it down with a slightly more of a less hotter flame. It may take you a little bit longer to sort of melt it down. That would be the way to do it. And also perhaps what you can do is put it through the rolling mill quite a few times to compress it. That may get some oxygen out. I don't know, I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Because what I'm trying to think of is that if I've got an aero bar of chocolate, how do I make it solid? You'd melt it down again to make it molten and then pour it out into a Yorkie mould. Yeah, get the gist? Just the idea. Chocolate again, Louise, this time in the afternoon. Or you would flatten your aero in a mold, in a rolling mill to squash all the air out to get your solid bit of chocolate. That works in chocolate. Whether that works in silver, I don't know.
I don't know whether Amparo means the yellow tone as the oxygen.
Yes, I don't know why it would be yellow. Unless you had it contaminated. I don't know. But without seeing it, it's really hard to tell. Or perhaps if you've just melted it down, perhaps it's got some fire scale on it. Perhaps you worked it and there's a bit of fire scale and it's not coming back bright and shiny. I don't know. So without actually seeing it and knowing how you've done it, I really wouldn't be able to tell you exactly why, but try melting it down to a slightly lower temperature and then recasting it, re-pour it into an ingot mold, carry on rolling it and see how it works from there. What do you reckon, Lou? Is that it?
Okay.
Should we call that? We're going to have to dash off, aren't we, tonight? We have to dash off. Anything that people have been saying? Andrew's getting hungry. Yes, always getting hungry this time in the afternoon. Thank you for all that. Give this
Isn't the yellow just the heat discoloration?
Maybe. It may just be the discoloration. It may be the fact that there may be a bit too much oxygen in it. But it could also perhaps be some oxides on the surface, some fire scale that you've really got to try and get off. Yes.
Okay.
Pear Happis, thank you very much. That's very kind. That's happy birthday and well.
Yeah. Cool.
Good.
Have a wonderful week, whether you have a birthday or not. Somebody's got a birthday this week, have they?
Have they? Oh, when is it? Wednesday.
Don't know.
Is it Wednesday?
It's not Wednesday.
Isn't it?
Oh.
When's my birthday? 3 days' time.
Thursday.
Thursday, St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
It is. Yes, it's Thursday. Happy birthday to me. All right.
That's going to be a long week, isn't it?
Right then, Louise. Should we go?
Okay, we better have, haven't we?
Thank you all very much for all the birthday wishes. Really do appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. Time for spot of tea. Yes, it's Wednesday. No, that's 14th, 15th. No, it's Thursday. Thursday is the birthday. All right.
Don't try and wangle 2 birthdays now. It's not going to work, is it?
They're like the Queen. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. Do appreciate it. All right then, Louise. Anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. Stacey, you're very welcome, lovely. Brilliant. Oh, great. Everyone's saying happy birthday.
Yes. All right, should we go?
Yes,
We're
I think we better.
We're going to have to dash. Louise, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Louise.
You've done it wrong.
I know. It's
you
good.
have to rehearse this.
It's goodbye from Louise.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. See you next Monday, everybody. Have a lovely week. Say goodbye again. We always feel that you don't have enough.
Goodbye.
Everyone, take care. See you next week. Bye-bye.